So I'm going to create an additional layer just to visualize what would be if I created a mask to be done in my other scene, to be used in my other scene. And in class, we saw the example of a column to generate, but I could also use mask coming from a different object or from other things. And I'll explain that in a little bit in our After Effects component. So I'm going to create a column here just to show that example. I'm back into my layer. I'm just create a polygonal object that I can use to mask other things out. So I just created a cube there, and I'm just going to scale it up. Let me see, my computer seems to be rendering there, so I need to stop it rendering. Okay, so now I'm going to just use this column just to show the example that we did prior in class and make sure that we have it correctly there. So I'm going to just use that to suggest the idea of having an object blocking that view. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call it mask. And in the mask, it's going to be a new collection. So mask assets. And of course, I'm going to add that object. Then we're going to create a shader override. For the shader override, we're going to create a Arnold shader using a flat surface. So if you look at that layer now, and you come and you bring your render window, it should save that right straight, nothing else. That is just what the alpha channel shows. So I'm going to just save this one out again as an individual image. I'm going to call it mask.png. You need it to be PNG so you have transparency. If you save an individual file, that will be fine. You just save the PNG. I'm going to just save that one out, and then we're going to transfer it into After Effects. So now we're going to bring the mask in here just to as an example, just to remember how we did it. So I'm going to import that file again, and that one is going to be my mask file. Here it's a PNG, and I just come import it. There it is, and I'm going to place it. I'm going to use it to mask the character. So I'm going to just place it there, just as an example here, and I'm just going to put it in front of the color layer. And there it is in my mask showing up. Of course, there's all those stuff in front of it. I'm going to hide those layers for now, so I can just use the mask. I'm going to hide the mask too. And remember now, we have the track matte here. The track matte, we just need to generate that connected correctly to the mask. Now, if you by some reason you don't have the switch toggle here to be able to call the track mask, there are these little icons here that can show you the switch so that you can go and turn it on or off. So in case the track matte doesn't show off, you have the little switch here. Okay, so I have the toggle there, and I have the mask, and I'm going to just make sure the mask is above or over the layer that needs to be modified, and the layer that is going to be modified is the one that will receive the luma inverted. That way the character is masked. And I could do the same thing for the other layer, just duplicating the layer. Pretty straightforward, no big question. Now I have another example that I want to share with you at this moment. So I'm going to turn off this one, just this example for now. Actually, I'm going to turn off this guy. So I'm not going to use it. This was just for me to show you the possibilities for that. But I'm going to create one other thing, and it is that what happens if I wanted to, for example, in this case, this light is casting over the body of the of my dinosaur, and the dinosaur, I have some missing frames there. The dinosaur is I don't want the dinosaur to be receiving some of that light. And this applies, for example, when you have a light on the wall, and that light, you don't want it to be casting over certain things because the object will go in front of it or whatever. So how you could do that? So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to use actually the color layer that has the dinosaur. I'm going to use the alpha channel of that layer to mask that bounce light. So how do we do that? I'm going to just duplicate this guy. I'm going to say edit, duplicate the color layer, and I'm going to just move it up over the bounce light, and I'm going to hide it because I don't need the color information. I'm just going to take the alpha channel from that, and I'm going to use that alpha channel that is right there to hide the bounce direct. So I'm going to say use the alpha inverted to hide that, and you see how it hid the part of the object. Of course, the alpha, if you remember the color layer is just the dinosaur. So the alpha is just around the dinosaur. If you don't have a file, a layer that has only the object, you will have to go and render a mask just for the dinosaur, just doing the flat shader as we did with the that column here. So this just gives you the opportunity to, again, I have some frames missing, to give you the opportunity to mask if the object eventually goes in front of that light. Again, I am masking the bounce light with the color layer, but I'm not using the color, I just turn it off. I'm just using the invert alpha for that, to mask out that thing. If I was to use the alpha directly, it will show the light over the leg, but I don't want that. I want it just to inverse so that the character is being masked. Alright, I hope that explains and gives you a little extra ideas for you to fix your compositing.